Today, we're learning branding lessons from the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan. Hey guys, I'm Brandon. I want to welcome you back to Marketing with Brandon, or if it's your first time here, welcome. Now, on this channel, I teach you all about marketing so you can use it to see tremendous success and growth in your business. So we do videos every week about marketing, brand strategy, and all sorts of tips that you can understand the fundamentals of marketing and use them to grow. So if you're interested in that type of content, you should hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell so you're not missing out on any of our content. Now, if you're anything like me, you're missing the last dance. I mean, I'm here in my Bulls uniform just waiting for them to put me in the game. But unfortunately, the last dance is over. If you're not familiar, the last dance was a 10-part, 5-week docuseries that aired on ESPN that chronicled the final championship season of the Michael Jordan-led Chicago Bulls. And while they went in depth in that season and how it went for them, they also took a retrospective and looked back on Michael Jordan's life, his career, his accomplishments, and we got a sort of inside scoop on a lot of the things that happened during his career. So much so that Michael Jordan was actually nervous that this documentary might be bad for his brand, that people may think he was not a great person after some of the details may have come out. And that fact is what decided, or that what prompted me to make this video, because I, as a fan of Michael Jordan, thought the documentary was great. But I think this is an incredible lesson in brand image, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So the Michael Jordan brand image, let's think about what we think of when we think of Michael Jordan. We think of a clean-cut guy, right? Off the court, he's always in a suit. He's got his gold earring. He's got a perfectly bald, shaved head with the little sparkle on the top, right? Like, it's just, he's clean cut, is impeccable, right? On the court, he's fierce. He's relentless. You honestly would think that Michael Jordan could beat anyone at any time wearing anything. He was just that good at playing basketball, and he was that determined. Right now, other things that Michael Jordan has curated, especially with his Nike television advertisements, is that he's got a mindset edge. He's got a competitive mindset that won't allow him to lose, that won't allow any team he's associated with to lose. When you think of Michael Jordan, what you think of is greatness. And then for people like me who grew up in the 90s, we also associate Michael Jordan with Space Jam, right? We associate him with Wheaties and Gatorade, all of these product placements and TV commercials to make Michael Jordan look like a nice guy. He's not just, dunking on people with his tongue out on the court, but off the court, he's smiling, he's charismatic, and he saved all of the Looney Tunes from being slaves to Moron Mountain. Like, you can't not be a nice guy and save the Looney Tunes from Moron Mountain. He should forever be on a pedestal for that, right? My bad. I think I'm on a tangent. But my point is, when you think of Michael Jordan, you think of a good guy who likes Big Macs, washing them down with Gatorade, likes to golf, may have an occasional cigar, but I'd trust my kids with Michael Jordan, or would I? I don't know. But something that you may not think of when you think of Michael Jordan is that he is so competitive that he would bully his teammates so that they'd be better for him in game situations, right? One story that was out before this documentary is that Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face during a practice, right? And people kind of laugh it off like, oh, he's just that competitive. He's just that fierce. You got to be on that level when you're talking to Michael Jeffrey Jordan, right? I can get my Stephen A. Smith on for a second. But something that people didn't realize is that he took that even further than punching people in the face, if you could imagine. One thing that came out in the documentary was that Michael Jordan would not let his teammate Horace Grant eat if he did not perform well in a game. He would literally tell the flight attendant on the plane not to give him food, right? Beyond that, there are some insane things that Michael Jordan would say to his teammates during practice. In fact, even after he was done playing basketball, there's a story that he once degraded Kwame Brown, his own draft pick, so much that he never played basketball the same again, right? These are things that may make you think that Michael Jordan's not a great person. They conflict with the guy who was chummed up with Bugs Bunny and Sylvester, right? This is different from the guy on the Gatorade commercial leading all the children to victory, right? This is different from the guy on the Wheaties box smiling, the guy drinking or, eating a Big Mac. All of this is conflicting. And what this is a study in brand image, right? So when we're talking about branding, branding is kind of a catch-all term that refers to your brand image or the perception that customers have about your company. It refers to your identity, meaning the logos, the word marks, the colors that you use. It refers to a lot of things, but today's focus is the brand image. Your brand image is how your customers or what consumers think about when they think about you, right? Do they think of you as a nice guy? Do they think of you as trustworthy? Do they think of you as tenacious? What do they think of you as? And more importantly, do the values that you exude line up with their own, right? If you're an athlete, then you certainly want to be associated with Michael Jordan and his relentless drive, right? But if you're a suburban mom trying to decide whether or not you want your kid to see Space Jam, when you find out that Michael Jordan is a jerk, you may think he's being a jerk in Space Jam, and you may not want your child to emulate those behaviors, right? So your brand image is really important. And what's super helpful or critical in your brand image is knowing what opportunities to take, what opportunities not to take. Michael Jordan was so in tune with what his brand is that he thought for a second that maybe this documentary might not be a good idea, because maybe the audience that is catering to him, the audience that's consuming his goods and services, would turn away if they learned those things about him. Luckily, he was wrong. But I just wanted to illustrate to you how important it is to be aware of your brand, to be aware of the public's perception about you, and to understand or be able to make decisions based on that. Now, you don't want to make decisions just based on what you think someone may think about your decisions, but you want to be true to yourself. You want your company to exude things that are actually true about it, because people can sniff lies a mile away. People can sniff gimmicks and cheap marketing ploys from forever away, especially if they've been trained in the art of marketing at all, right? Just look at politics for examples of that. Politicians are so closely associated with lying. It's like politicians and lawyers. You just assume they're lying anytime they're speaking, right? And, some politicians do a better job than others of shaking that perception. But it's important to make sure that you're not just throwing things out there because you think people want to hear it, but your brand grows from the inside out. When you're sitting and deciding, what you want your company to be, you think of its mission, you think of its values, you think of who you want to serve and why. You think of, what your charge is in the industry. How are you changing the world? And you put that forward. You put that forth in everything that you do. You can literally make any decision by saying, is this what we're about? And that's what Michael Jordan did for all of those years, which make us all think of him as an incredible basketball player, an incredibly smooth guy who's charismatic and friendly, right? We think of all of those things when we think of Michael Jordan. What are people going to think about when they hear about you? What are people going to associate you and your brand with? Just a little food for thought. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And until that one comes out, be safe and be well. I'll see you soon. Peace.